Welcome back to Focus on Ghana. We're discussing the aftermath of Ghana's elections. On the 7th of December, the people of Ghana went to elect a new president. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the president-elect. 275 members of parliament have also been elected. And on the 7th of January 2017, the new administration is going to be inaugurated. Now, the president-elect, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has spoken about Africa. He touted democratic credentials, especially in Ghana. And they're questioning as to whether he's going to pursue his opponents when it comes to the issue of corruption, because it was one of the main themes of their campaign, that the Mahama administration was very corrupt. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is he going to pursue his political opponents? Let's watch this.
The Ghanaian economy has been in the nosedive for the last 5 years, shrinking on an annual basis, and low growth, widespread unemployment, and huge debt. That's the reality of our situation in Ghana. And especially the unemployment amongst the youth has reached alarming proportions. And if we don't find a method of dealing with it, our country and society are going to run into all kinds of problems down the line. So my major priority is what we need to do to get our economy working again, expanding and growing rapidly. We put out a whole lot of ideas, which are both again in our manifesto and in the things that I'm saying about institutional reforms, personal examples that myself and the leaders of our party and government have to give. There's a mix of ideas that we believe will go a long way to reducing the incidence of corruption in our national life and giving us the opportunity to put our society and economy on an even keel. As much as possible, we want to take the politics out of it so that screams of witch hunting, etc., don't arise, by establishing an office of special prosecutor, of somebody who will be independent of the executive and whose remit will be to investigate and tackle issues of corruption. And hopefully that person is going to be somebody who commands the respect of the society and at the same time has an independent mind to make the decision. We want an economy that is expanding and growing. That would be the main concern that I would have, the concern about the legacy. And secondly also, that Ghana is being run in a manner where the interests of ordinary people are the focus of the governance of our country. Our institutions, the way in which we go about solving the problems of state and politics is about satisfying the needs and aspirations of ordinary people. This would be what would be for me a very acceptable, if you want to call it legacy, so be it.
That was the president-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in an interview with the BBC earlier on in the week. And before we come to that, I'll be finding out from you. The president says he's going to be a president for all Ghanaians. He has allayed the fears that people are going to be witch hunted and the rest of it. But we've got Douglas with us on the line. Hello, Douglas.
Hi.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Can we have your point, please?
Greetings to you and all your panelists here.
Thank you. Yes, please go ahead. We're listening.
Yeah, the point is looking at what is happening in Ghana today, listening to all these political commentators and your panelists, everything you've been saying, I can honestly say to you that even if NPP did not do any campaign, they still would have won the elections hands down.
How?
Because looking at the way this NDC government were mismanaging the affairs of the nation, it was terrible. It was so bad. Look at one instance. Look at teachers, nurses, working for some of them for 2 years, not getting paid. Look at what President Kufuor and his NPP administration did. The Metro Mass, school feeding, NHIS, all these And these people came down, they brought everything to a total collapse. And they had money put in the backs of trucks, just dishing it out to people, just like that, when the money was meant to implement all these policies that was being established by the NPP. And look at the way they were looting, creating looting and whatever they call it, create, loot and share. You know that what they did with Wyoming, Yida, Waterville, all this were in the minds of the people. People were not stupid. The people were suffering, and all this money was going into other people's pockets. With NDC people sharing all the money, and people were suffering. Even look at one instance that was shown on the other time on the telly. Pregnant women went to labor, and they couldn't even have beds to sleep on.
So in effect, Douglas, you're saying that if it is that these factors were around, it was an easy assignment for the opposition, and that's how come the landslide victory. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. Because the corruption of the NDC was so terrible, was so bad.
Well, thank you for your point, well made. Thank you for your contribution as well. The lines are still active, 0207 501-7701. Audu, let me find out from you. We understand the former President Rawlings wrote a congratulatory message to the president-elect and implored him to pursue the issues of corruption, and people who are found to be corrupt should be prosecuted. And he says, listen, I'm going to take the politics out of it. In the interview, he said that. Does it put the hearts of people at ease? So in this transitional period, people will be transparent, open up, be courageous and bold enough to tell what the story is.
Thank you very much, Kweku. Talking of corruption, from where is the NPP going to start? Because there were corruptions within the previous governments, including Kufuor's government. From where is NPP going to start? There are a lot of corruption in the system already. Each and every one of us as Ghanaians are the contributing factors of corruption in the country.
Well, he says
yes,
how?
Yes, how? Because most of us, let's say most of us take our cars or our goods to Ghana. What do? We go and bribe officials to get those things out. Those are the corruptions. We go to Ghana, go to the offices to do simple things.
Within the 8 years that the NDC took over from the NPP, because
Yes.
you've made the allegation that there's corruption, or there was corruption, even in Kufuor's
corruption has
Right.
always been with us.
So the point here is, why wasn't that dealt with? That is gone so bad that everybody is talking about it. Why wasn't anything done about it? Or why were things done that did not kill that canker?
The canker is a very serious one because it's not easy for it cannot be cured, but it can be controlled. Corruption cannot be wiped away. You can only manage corruption in every society in this world.
There were several examples. The bus branding saga.
Yes.
The Savannah Accelerated Development Agency and Authority thing.
Yes.
Woyome is ongoing. A whole lot of these things. How did we handle these things? The National Service Scheme problems here and there. Ahmed, just hold on one brief moment. Let me handle that.
We have systems in place. We have our legal system. Most of the cases that you mentioned are in the courts.
Okay.
Right? That is the right. We can't go and arrest people and put them in jail. The system have to work, and the systems are working. Woyome is in court. The bus branding, there was a refund. Right? All the cases that you mentioned, have been taken to court. I don't see what you expect the government to do. We can't go around arresting people for just because someone mentioned that they are corrupt. So, we have to make the system work. If the president-elect says he's going to fight corruption, fine, we are all for it, but where is he going to start?
Could the NDC have done better with the handling of corruption?
No, is it going to be a witch hunt? Which I would say yes, because already you could see what is happening since after the election. People were being attacked here and there.
Let me go to Ahmed and we'll come back to this issue. Hello, Ahmed.
Hello there.
Yes, how are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad.
Good.
Just to say hello to your panel.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yes, just to say hello to your panel.
Yes, thank you.
I just want to make the NDC guy, Mr. Shani, sort of draws attention to what he thinks about the election. Does he agree that all even the father of NDC was fed up with their arrogancy? Is he aware of that? Even the arrogancy that they sort of portray in Ghana was just so enormous. They just don't value human beings. Asiadun Katia goes out in public. All the ministers, even a public minister like the communication minister, will go on public, as if Ghana was just in their hands. And that's the problem. They have to deal with that. Even if they don't deal with that, obviously they shouldn't think about coming back to power at all. For the next 12 years, they shouldn't think about coming to power.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm just so fed up.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, for your contribution.
I want to make a correction.
If you could do that quickly in 10 seconds.
Douglas mentioned that money was dished out to people. I think it was a wrong statement. He shouldn't have made it because that was not the case. During the election, NDC do not put money in cars and go about dishing it to people.
No,
we did not do it.
Were you? You are not in Ghana.
Well, we are in a global world.
No, ask me.
Is you asking because you were in Ghana?
I don't have to be in Ghana. You are only in a particular area in Ghana because no. Getting information in Ghana, whether you are in Ghana or here, will depend on how wide we cast our nets to get information.
Andy, let me find out from the president-elect. Yes. He's not your candidate anymore. No. He's the president-elect of Ghana. Yes. Now, he says that he's not going to witch hunt people. He's going to take the politics out of the pursuit of monies lost. Is that the right thing to do?
Yes, I will say that if you know our president-elect, if you've worked with him, if you have been in his comfort zone, and if you have had conversations with him, you realize that he's not making, we will call it a political statement, or he just throwing cautions to wind. What he believes in is a one Ghana project, a project where legacies are left, a project where rule of law becomes the principle and the given tenet of which our democratic principle and sovereignty is supposed to be governed. He is a person that he said, and he means it, whether you voted for him or not, whether you support him or not, he is all-inclusive and embracing in ensuring that everybody willing and ably equipped with skills and talent to work and deliver Ghana, he is willing to work with those people. How has he done that? Just after the declaration of the victory, he was quite clear that he's going to work with all the other political parties who contested this election.
This particular statement is heard every time elections are declared and a winner is pointed out. President Mills said it. President John Mahama, I remember, even said that he was going to have regular meetings with all the other candidates in the Flagstaff House.
Look at it from this way, right? MPP took power in 2000. We talk about the whole country being uplifted because between 2000 to 2008, the government that was run by MPP had different people from political coloration and shades holding executive powers in the administration of Kufuor. Look at NPP 2016 onwards. You will see, because it's only when you draw and harness resources and talents from all angles, then you can build a nation. If you decide that you want to go solo and alone, you'll be looking from your own lens and a parochial spectacle, and you end up how the NDC have ended up. Whilst the nation are feeling the heat and the realms of difficulties, you'll be thinking that you're giving them so much that they should be glorifying and appreciating you for it. Now, we are committed to a Ghana project. We are not committed to a create, loot and share project. We are not committed to a chronism, a cabal project. We are committed to a society where there is fair, equal opportunities for all. You talked about a car incident, sending a car to Ghana, for instance, having to pay. Now, if the head has so much integrity then the tail has no confidence in going to bribe the head. Now, if the head has not integrity at all, then the tail will want to pull the first one through. So it all depends on governance and leadership.
Well, Kofi, I'm going to ask you to comment on the statement yourself, but let me find out what Ken says on the line. Hello, Ken. Well, Ken is gone, unfortunately. Sorry for keeping you waiting, but I needed to get through the flow of Andy's thoughts before we go there. But, Kofi, the president-elect says, I'm going to be the president for all Ghanaians, irrespective of your political coloration, religious, tribal, and all that. People are pushing him to pursue individuals, which would be seen as political witch hunting. Now he says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get somebody who is so different from the executive, independent of the executive, and make sure that the prosecutions are done and done in the right way. Do you agree?
Absolutely. You see, this election, like I said, I've always been saying, was won on anti-corruption campaign.
Okay. If you could bear with me before I lose the next call. Noah, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, Noah. Can we have your point, please?
Yeah. Actually, if you look at how the election went, Ghanaians were presented with two options.
Right.
That is, we have an NDC government where there has been a whole lot of corrupt activities. You've mentioned a lot of them, SADA, the bus branding, and a whole lot. And what has happened is the media has been able to also carry these activities, and Ghanaians are now aware of all those corrupt activities. However, Akufo-Addo has never done anything before, but then they could make comparison to what Kufuor has done in his tenure of office. So now you are presented with a corrupt government and a government in the past that has done certain activities. Now, the NDC has waited till getting to election and you are commissioning projects and those things. Look, let me tell you, Ghanaians, voters are becoming more sophisticated, more wiser. So if you wait and get into election time, you go and commission one or two things and thinking Ghanaians will vote for you, with all those issues of corrupt activities, nobody in his right sense will do that. Look, if you are a CEO of Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and these things have been said about you, the next moment you are gone.
Okay.
But it's all boils down to leadership. If you are a leader and you allow all these things to go under your watch, how do you expect Ghanaians to put you in power again? But one thing to conclude,
yes,
Akufo-Addo should learn a clue, take a clue from this. If you come in and you repeat the same thing, Ghanaians will kick you out. So we Ghanaians are becoming more educated and sophisticated.
Thank you very much, Noah, for a point well made. Thank you for your contribution. Well, Kofi, back to you. I held you right in the middle of your thoughts there. Let's continue. Your agreement with Nana Akufo-Addo as to the way he's going to handle the situation so he deals with corruption.
Absolutely agree with him. I think he'll be setting a very good example, which we all want. Like I said, the election was won seriously on anti-corruption campaign.
Okay.
And he seems to be able to win that credibility when you have a government that daily people are suffering, and then you see some few people, they look like they are all right. And based on that, you then accuse them that, look, these people, while they were there, they were only enriching themselves. Then what's the point in coming into office? And so I'm now focusing on what I want to do. I'm not interested in witch hunting. What will happen is Ghana you can see after the election, people started attacking people. Why? Because they have that feeling that, look, if we don't trust politicians, so we know when they get in, they'll forget us. So we will even take the law into our hands. And we told Ghanaians that, no, you've made your point clear that you want your what? Fairness and justice. In other words, we want to see all those who have questions to answer.
Okay.
Like some people might have social questions, like somebody was talking about, how did the ex-president pass away? Is there anything Ghanaians need to know? I don't think that should be thrown aside. There are issues of finances and so on. Now, my brother Aldo, in a way, was asking, where is he going to start? And definitely, like he said, there's going to be an independent body to deal with that, and it's not going to be politicized. They want to leave it, and there might be some people, I will be part of those if I'm in NDC, to really support, because anytime the state money, corruption is involved, the state loses, or the consumer, the citizen loses. And when you have this, just one person somewhere that has destroyed a process that is supposed to go. So I think we must understand that after each election, what we are doing is to set examples to others. That you can't be in the position of authority and take advantage of the system. Others are coming. Right. So we shouldn't be thinking about witch hunting. There won't be witch hunting. It's going to be independent. And I wish to see how that will be done. And I hope it's done very well.
I'll recommend you that you go for that position. Well, let me go to the lines and find out what Jim thinks. Hello, Jim.
Hello.
Can you please put off the volume of your set?
Hello.
Jim, can you switch the volume of your set off?
Yeah, it's turned off entirely.
Thank you. Can we hear you now, please?
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to your panelists.
Yes.
Just a little contribution. I think Sani Mohammed is singing from a different side of the world.
Sani Awudu. Sani Awudu.
Yes, Sani Awudu is singing from a different side of the world. He's talking like just the so-called elite in Ghana, who think we are a bunch of low lives, or we don't even know what time it is. Yeah? But per chance that you're living in England doesn't mean you can talk for the masses in Ghana. Commissioning something that is the taxpayers' money doesn't give you the right to even talk about corruption the way it's going. Yeah? When I talk about things like this, I get very, very emotional. Emotional in the sense that people like you sit on the TV here in England, and you think you can just equate the way Ghanaians think, and you think it's not right. And you are even equating it to witch hunting. I probably think you must use the word juju hunting, not witch hunting, from where we come from. Yeah, because if you think it's all right, for somebody like Mama, with all this corruption, are you telling us that we don't have...
Let me get a quick reaction from Audu. Jim thinks that you are not in touch with reality on the ground.
He's not.
Let's get a reaction. Thank you very much, Jim. Let's get a reaction.
No, I think that he's rather not in touch with reality, because we are not taking decisions based on our impulse, because whatever is happening, I don't think that even if the new government comes, they are going to act on impulse. They are going to analyze everything, and they are going to investigate before they take any case to court. And when those cases are taken to court, the defendants are also going to take their lawyers. So it's not like we're in the cyber. You can't just come out of the blue and say you are fighting corruption, you are going to arrest people. No. Every case is going to be contested in court. That is what I'm talking about. Every case will be contested in court.
Okay.
You are glorifying corruption. You think corruption cannot be eradicated? How can you?
No, sir. I'm talking about a system, like because
Jim, can we have one person at a time? Can we have one person at a time?
Jim is the name. We have a system in the country. That is what democracy is all about. We have a system in the country, and if Nana comes, he's going to use the same system to prosecute people who committed offense.
Okay. Well,
that's what I'm talking about.
Andy, let me get a quick reaction from Andy. Jim thinks that... Jim, hold on. Thank you very much. Andy, Jim thinks that Audu is not in touch with reality on the ground. He thinks that corruption is being glorified if we have to take these allegations of corruption through the processes and the systems.
Well, I would say to Jim that the people have spoken. So he has to bring his heart down and he has to be calm, because what it is that the people have actually shown the NDC that corruption cannot be glorified. And I want to say two things. One, when a government which appoint Attorney General who's supposed to do two things. One, be a legal advisor of the government, and be the sole prosecutor. That's the second part. Okay? Sole prosecutor of crime. Actually form an alliance with a conspirator or a criminal, then the government is not fit for purpose. Woyomi's case is a pervasive act that can be written in story, in movies, in drama, and it will still hit a blockbuster. You know why? It's the only case where an independent person had to go to a Supreme Court to beg the Supreme Court that this man here, let him refund the money. And the Supreme Court said, go and refund the money. And the person who has to go and collect the money actually write a check for the person that pay me that money. Right? It's a blockbuster. The government gives money to Woyomi in Woyomi's account to pay the government.
Can you prove that?
Now, that was proven. It was clearly written. And on the 16th, we are going to hear more of that. That is one blockbuster. The second blockbuster is when 11,000 Ghana cedis worth of branding is surcharged at 3.6 million to the government, and the money, hold on, the money is paid before the work is done. And only when it appears in Parliament for approval, the money had already been paid, it turns up in Parliament, the minority leader picks that line and says, hold on a minute, how come the bus branding cost 3.6 million? So, because we compared the price, we dig in and we say, sorry, it was a mistake, it was overpayment, we'll refund. Do you know whether the money was refunded?
I have a minute and I want to share it with JB Dankwa quickly before I take my next break. JB.
Yeah, hello. Good evening. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. We have a minute.
My main man.
Oh, you know him already? Did you ask him to call? Anyway, JB, let's do this quickly and we'll take the break. JB, let's hear you, please.
Yes. I want to tell you one thing. You better know that your party needs to transform themselves. If you're going to be stuck in your old ways and justify the crooked and bent years of your administration, you are not going to go anywhere. Jerry John Rawlings, your founder, has called upon the incoming president to do with corruption, and you are there saying that it cannot be eradicated. I'm telling you, if you guys don't transform, or if you guys don't look into yourself and see where you're losing, where you lost this election, you will stay in opposition for a very long time.
Well, I think Audu has already made that point that they're doing an introspection and they will come out with the reasons very shortly.
Well, but they shouldn't sit down and start blaming other things. The main thing is that corruption was their problem, and they need to look into it.
Thank you very much, JB. Is that your friend that?
Oh yeah, JB is my brother.
No, we'll be coming to that. We're going to take that quick break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at that. We're still discussing Ghana's elections 2016, the aftermath, and I want to point out that as per the Presidential Transition Act 2012, the team has been put in place, both sides, one on the side of the incoming administration, one on the side of the current administration, and they have had a meeting, in fact 2 meetings, and the handing over notes are being put together for the new administration, and if there's any question they will ask and they will be answered. Then the law also says that there should be a subcommittee that will plan the inauguration that will happen on the 7th of January 2017. We're taking this quick break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at what is in store for Ghanaians when the transition is complete. The first 100 days of the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo, what is the expectation of the Ghanaian? We'll be back shortly.